Hello folks, old Buster coming to you again with the rest of the story. As Paul Harvey would say, this is the aftermath. Life goes on. Mr. Holmes arrived in Scotland just about the time all the folks did. The families was took out of Morocco as soon as possible, and that dang Buster let a shuck out of there in the Dutchess, lickety-split. Well, Hired followed in Star. Star would be took back to the boys' place by one of the Air Force pilots along with the chopper that Mr. Holmes fixed up for him. Whilst they was gone, Mr. Holmes made the hangar and airstrip state-of-the-art and with top security measures too. Dalton and Devane took care of the business with Albert Mayor Rothschild, and Horace and Alfred tended to clean up operations with the King's men. Now, Abdul was going to pull through due to Dalton's quick actions in stopping the blood, and the mercenaries that wasn't going to talk had their own way. No prisoners. The news around the world was reporting about the horror of the terrorist attacks in Morocco on the Hassan II Mosque in England. The world's most prominent family, the Rothschilds, was decimated by the tragedy of the bombing of Waddesdon Manor. Now, other family members declined comment, were not available for no kind of interview. They just simply went underground, plain head on out. Now, Mr. Holmes done brung Ike and Melvin along with their gal friends Diane and Debbie. Now, Diane was in the Guinness Book of World Records for scoring the most points in a woman's basketball game. That's half court back then. She scored 100 points. Of course, the moon-eyed boys had to come along too. Gary and Barry was plumb tickled to come off on this here trip, that's for sure. Them two boys was pert near the Bobbsey twins with all their carrying on about them Ollinger gals. The McGregors had a bang-up party for the bunch of them, and Ike and Melvin stood up at the supper table and showed everybody their belt buckles that they done won. Now, Melvin was the Texas state champion for bulldogging, and Ike was the Texas state champion for calf roping and bronc riding. Ike said he didn't expect to win the bronc riding, then he just grinned like he always done. Now, Melvin was always a devil in little Dove, so Dove said to Melvin to put his arm up on the table. And Mr. Ollinger said, "Walter, grab a hold and see what your big brother got for guns nowadays," Mr. Ollinger done said. Well, sir, little Dubs and Melvin locked up and everybody went to a cheering. Now, Dubs told Melvin that he just might have met his match and bit off more than he could chew. Little Dub done grow to mite. There was a huffing and a puffing, and finally little Dub put the move on old Melvin and put him down. Melvin said he just couldn't believe Walter could do that to him. Now, Mr. Ollinger told Melvin, "You ain't been where he'd been lately, son." Everybody laughed at Melvin and said he had to have a rematch real soon. Well, Mr. Holmes told all the families that there weren't no guarantee that it was the end of the Illuminati, but they was hurt real bad, and he didn't expect them to be in the open about some of their dealings they'd been in the past. He figured it'd be years before they showed their ugly old heads again. Well, Mr. Holmes also said the Illuminati was, and always will be, a top priority for the Presidential Corps. In fact, he done formed a special team to do nothing but track them. The good news that called for a round or two old McBrayer was that Melvin and Debbie and Ike and Diane planned to be married up real soon. Lo and behold, old Gary stammered around a bit, and Barry Plum was trying to mouth, but they got out they both wanted to marry up with Carla Mae and Mary Gale. Danged if it wasn't going to be a foursome again, exclaimed Aunt Judith. Well, Aunt Judith asked them all if they wouldn't have the wedding for the four of them at the farm. That's the mansion, you know, there in Kentucky, just like the boys done. All the gals said they would love that. Them women went to a plotting and a planning right then and there. The gals were going to be June brides. Looks like the Duchess and the Queen was going to be right busy now. Well, Barry said he was going to stay in the cattle business, and Mary Gale was going to go to beauty parlor school. Now, Carla Mae was going to go to work for the bank back home, and Jerry was getting a job through Mr. Holmes. He was starting to work for the Pantex, the facility that stored all the atomic bombs there for the USA in Amarillo, Texas. Well, Sandy and Diane McBrayer both had beaux but wasn't going to get married right away because of their schooling. But after that, they decided to marry up. They would both like to be married up at the farm too. Well, life goes on no matter what, said Grandma Clara. It always has and always will. Buster stood up and asked all the folks to join him in prayer for the blessings and good fortune the good Lord has given. Without Jesus Christ, there just ain't no way out, no hope, no future. Amen and amen. Y'all have a blessed day. Old Buster signing out. Won't be long. I have another story for you.